Apologies for everyone who did not see the stream. Stream was up at some point, must have crashed. So welcome. We're here to play My Chemical Aspence, the undisputed top team in the league, versus JunkyardDogs, who are fighting out here in the middle area of the bracket, trying to keep themselves from relegation, from not going to playoffs. If they can get a game win here or even a series win. So it's going to be an exciting game nonetheless. And since they don't have Panther Lily as a sub for My Chemical Aspence, we are going to be seeing them at full strength with Jolly Jihadist, their main fourth.
Absolutely, and to kind of dip back into the breakdown that we were just yapping about off stream, apparently. Yeah, and kind of deep diving again. This is a JunkyardDogs that's still trying to figure things out, which is scary because obviously, like you said, they're playing for playoff contention. They definitely need to anchor in that last spot. But they got a lot of moving parts. There's been some disagreements on how the flow of their team should work, kind of who plays what role and what they're going to do. I mean, we've seen that from casting their game, over and over again over the past 2 weeks, where they're just basically playing hot potato with the ball. So we'll see if they kind of come out with a more solidified look, which they're going to have to do as they kick off for tip-off against the #1 team in the league right now.
Absolutely. And here we are into the court, in for game 1 of My Chemical Aspence versus JunkyardDogs. Last series of the season for the regular season for JunkyardDogs here. Let's see if they can go out on a high note, culminate that in all that practice for the past few weeks, and take some games here, take some rounds off of My Chemical Aspence as we are onto the court here. Both teams facing off in the center for kickoff as Hells tried to take off the kickoff, but it looks like, actually, no, NCOP will not be able to take the hand on that. Ball will end up in Jolly Jihadist's hand. He's going to walk back, and it looks like he is sitting as the ball carrier for now, as that right side is falling apart here with Aspence and Chemical trying to hold space here in the middle with no tanks directly in front of the ball carrier.
We might start to see a more dynamic look. This is the My Chemical Aspence that's having fun, right? They know they're in playoffs. They know they're comfortable. They're not really worried about a loss if they are to take one, because they know they can, kind of take control. So they're trying out different things for playoffs. What if we have Jolly run and we have not only the nastiest lineup of Chemical and Aspence,
bad throw here.
but then we have the
Gingy right on top of the plate there.
Does almost a nasty turnover on the plate, and that is why maybe it's best to stick with that.
Absolutely. Hells and Co. picking up the slack there, as that was a very bad back foot throw. The cardinal sin of a ball carrier is to not throw on your back foot, because the ball will go barely anywhere. Jolly now going out onto the flank as Chemical and Aspence try and fill in the space in front of the ball carrier. Going to be looking to potentially rotate out towards the right side. Jolly has a ton of space here on the right side. Unfortunately, gets killed out by Recharge and Demon, and we're going to kind of resettle here back into the mid area.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing a lot more solidified play so far. I like seeing NCOP play like this. Usually he kind of throws his life away, he plays kind of reckless, but right now he's playing actually very strategic. He's getting the kills that needed. As I say that, getting folded like a lawn chair right there.
Absolutely.
As My Chemical just absolutely converges and dunks on the JunkyardDogs, solidifying a 1-0 run to start. And it's tough, man. The Caster's curse is very, very real for us. I feel like every time we start to give somebody credit, they just get absolutely deleted on the court as we roll into the second tip-off in a 1-0 start for My Chemical Aspence.
Absolutely, and it looks like JunkyardDogs will actually cleanly take the kickoff here, having Gingy hold on to the ball. Looks like they're settling right back into what we've usually seen from them from the multiple games that we've had here on the AGLA stream. The Gingy holding the ball here, Demon, Encott, and Recharge holding on to the ball. Actually, Recharge now taking the ball from Gingy. Recharge then dropped the ball to Encott, kind of just playing some hot potato here with the ball, as it looks like Encott will stay as the ball carrier, looking for some space here on the right side with Demon and Recharge at the front tanking line. Gingy skates right past Chemical there, and it ends up with Chemical as a passed man. Chemical somehow beating Gingy on the far side, and now just collapsing in on this push. This push is not going anywhere, and it looks like Encott is going to get forced out to the side, throw the ball out to Recharge, and we're going to have a kind of a reset here on the play, as they are a little bit bottled up right now. Going to need some kills.
Somehow NCOT lives this situation, right, and throws out a very half-cocked throw that almost ended horribly, as he tried to throw that to Recharge, and Hells was right there with the sword. If Hells is one step forward, that's a free pick, that's a 2-0 start, but luckily they're able to kind of take it away. But I do like this lineup. I like them going with NCOT as the runner. I like them playing more traditional. They're able to get way more tanking power out of this, as we've already seen them be able to breach the half-court line way more than they have, against normal teams, but especially against this team. Obviously still having a hard time kind of contending here, rotating it out to the right side, but I like the ability for them to just keep consistent. Hey, it's either Recharge or NCOT, and start to find those kills. But this is where we start to see kind of what they were talking about, right? How aggressive do they play when they have the ball? Are they going to play passive? Are they going to play consistent? Are they going to play more wall side heavy? Are they going to rotate and flop back and forth recently? But quick kills coming out of the side of the Junkyard Dogs, able to break that half court line as they stack up that pressure and get their respawner up. Hell's kind of creating that space and able to stay alive here for the most part, but Chemical making quick work with a double piece on the left side as they rotate back.
Absolutely. Going to be interesting to see if they actually can break that half-court line. As you said that, they have not broken the half-court line since you mentioned it. Caster Curse staying strong in this league as the ball ends up being forced right off of Redcott, and Cut throwing it off to Recharge here. He's going to look for the pickup. Demon almost had the opening there to kill Angel. Unfortunately, did not pan out. Multiple Junkyard Dogs are dying left, right, and center. Gingy trying to stay alive, does end up getting the punch on Chemical just by being forced into the corner, and they are going to finally get away from their back wall here as Recharge looks to play out a flank here potential on the left side. Demon holding onto the right side here. Gingy gives the ball off to Encott, releasing Gingy to be a tank here, but unfortunately that far left side flank not panning out into anything, and it's going to be a 4v2, down 4v3, or 3v2 scenario here at the main line. The main tanking line there at the same time getting killed. Ball gets forced out from Encott, the only guy left. His body getting thrown around like a sack of potatoes as Recharge and Demon are trying to make some space here on the left side. Demon with his third betrayal of the game so far. Really unfortunate from the tanking line of Junkyard Dogs, and a costly turnover potential by Chemical. Ends up being Gingy picking up that ball from Chemical as he was not able to get that throw out due to the lockout of the ball carrier punch. Hell's getting some space here on the mid area in Junkyard Dogs territory. Gingy trying to force some territory across the mid-court, and he does go across the mid-court line by about 2 millimeters, but will end up going for a pass play. Very aggressive play to Recharge. Almost pans out. I have to imagine Recharge had the boost on cooldown. Otherwise, he could have just picked up the ball, boosted in, and gotten to a 1-1 scoreline. Instead, the ball's now going to be in Hell's Angel's hands as My Chemical Aspence is going to assert their dominance here on the Gref Ball court.
I mean, honestly, I really like to see that play, though. With a team like this, it's going to be very hard, straight raw tank in. But, I mean, going for that pass play, getting that space, getting that creativity up, that's how you're going to be able to sneak in some goals, which can really change the momentum for your team here. But Encott with a huge pickoff, kind of a floppy pass that ends up just straight in his lap. He's able to turn that over, get it back to his side of the court, and they're able to maintain position. So good on him for that. But, you know, a quick stat line breakdown. Encott's already -10 as Recharge is getting slammed right now at 11-6. Demon doing his best to stay alive and honestly anchoring the team at a +10. Gingy going almost positive, almost negative, flirting right on that 1.0 border, but the stats really aren't reflecting how well they're able to stay alive right now, as you know, we've seen them just get slammed, but they're getting the good kills. Usually we've seen them kind of get rolled over at this point, but even challenging with a double sword, a nasty evasion by Hells there, which could have been a double sword turned into a pick, but Aspence able to get there on the respawn, clean up a double, doing his aerial shit as he normally does, cleaning up the mid kills, and this is why this team is just so dangerous.
Oh, the toss to Jolly. Oh, what a nasty bank pass. Beautiful bank pass there from Hells, weaving it between two defenders, bouncing off the backboard and handing it right to Jolly, who the Junkyard Dogs lineup was not even ready for as he stuck behind a respawning tank. So it is going to be a 2-0 scoreline right now as Hell's Angel is holding onto the ball, pushing with My Chemical Aspence to get that score right back to a 3-0 pretty quickly here. We're only 15 seconds into the round. Hells ends up evading the sword. Amazing ball carrying there by Hell's Angel. We're at a 3-0 scoreline already. That round took less than 20 seconds to happen.
Yeah, it's once they start to heat up, and kind of touching on 2 goals ago, I don't think, this is why I'm a huge fan of Jolly, because I don't think he gets enough credit. Usually we see a lot of teams go super top heavy, where their fourth is just there, right? Not really developing, not really like playing just more so a body on the court. But Jolly has really developed in this offense and this defense, and the way he's able to flow off of everybody, the way he's getting coached by Chem, Hells, Aspence, and has really developed into a solid player that you actually look forward to seeing on the court. So huge shout out to him for being able to take up that space, stay alive, get the quick catch for his team, and dunk that straight at the Junkyard Dogs as we move into this round 3 with Junkyard Dogs again fighting to stay alive. A nasty betrayal there, but able to clear up that space as they had no defenders even close to the ball, everybody on the respawn. Demon doing his best to make that push, but again, Encott just playing super passive at midline, not picking a wall, and kind of just hovering in mid.
Double betrayal there by Aspence.
Yeah, that was brutal.
My God, yeah, you're definitely seeing you're seeing some looseness from My Chemical Aspence, and you're seeing some rust here from the Junkyard Dogs, as it seems that they can't. Demon, I don't feel like has been able to kind of find his footing. At least it feels like that. But he is positive 12, so it might just be that his other tanks are just not filling in with him, and so it ends up being that he does so much, but eventually he's gonna die because he doesn't manage to get that teammate support. As right there, he got 2v1, and it's just very difficult here for Junkyard Dogs to get any space on the court right now, as Encott is trying to carry this ball out to the right wall, recharging Demon as his front tanks here. Looking for that punch on Aspence, does get a good punch there by Encott and the Junkyard Dogs. Looking for some space here. Like you're saying, the tanking prowess from My Chemical Aspence is just showing through here, as the Junkyard Dogs have been having such a difficult time actually getting those tanks, getting those kills, and not trading out. But as I say that, the caster curse is working in their favor, as they do get some space here at the mid-core, with Gingy looking for some space here on the right side. Demon, unfortunately, trading on the left, and you're just kind of going back and forth.
Gingy just doing an incredible job of staying alive right there, even through, pressure after pressure getting set from the side of My Chemical Aspence. They sent 4 at him, and he was just staying alive, taking kills. But to your point that you were just talking about earlier, that's that kind of shift that we were talking about, and has honestly been a spot of tension on this team. How are they going to play? Like, Demon is trying to get his footing, he's getting the kills, but like the flow of the overall match just isn't matching, the gameplay. And that's the problem that they've struggled with. That's what's lost them several matches and games entirely in the series, is just not being on the same cohesive footing as a team as to when to push, when to play passive, and when to really give it the gas. But we're starting to see some progress here as they're finally able to breach the half-court line, but still playing super hesitant, able to get that kill, finally breaching the line,
a lot of space
forward.
here.
Encott doing a lot of space, Recharge trying to pick up and fill in, staying alive and doing the best that he can. Chemical goes down, Angel gets traded out. Hell actually stays alive there, Gingy, but again, they take their foot off the gas and let them respawn, and their push just like that is dead as they get wrapped back to mid.
Absolutely. We saw this with Space Life coaches against My Chemical Aspence, that if you start to take your foot off the gas there at the plate, you're going to end up having that turnover or not get the score. But
Demon's
Junkyard
slaying.
Dogs finally wake up there with Demon coming in with crazy slaying, fantastic double, if not triple, by the front tank there, as Gingy carries that ball right in, swerves right around all the tanks, and brings us right to a 3-1 scoreline. Finally, Junkyard Dogs on the board, getting some reward for that tanking prowess of their main tank, their top tank, Demon, at 48-31 right now. A positive 17 scoreline for him.
And that's the third tip-off that the Junkyard Dogs have walked away with clean. So they're getting the ball. The problem isn't possession, it's just to match the aggression. And they're finally showing some signs of life as they're able to push through, get the kills. They're setting one on the flank, but the flank's not only able to stay alive and get a kill. Almost a nasty double. If Gingy pulls that off, that creates a lot of space for them. Unfortunately, he doesn't get it. He gets traded, and they're having to wrap back on their side of the ball. Encott doing his best to stay alive, able to come away with a trade from Chemical, which is huge to kind of keep that space alive so that collapse isn't happening. This mid shift where they're not sticking to a wall, they're just kind of floating in mid, is really killing the push. Encott not able to get that kill. Gingy getting traded out. Demon through on the flank, but gets freed up by Jolly, and that's almost a double sword combo as they get pinned in their corner once again.
Yeah, and Chemical very properly spaced. They're taking the time, making sure that the ball does not just get eaten. It's an extermination by Chem. That is 4 dead for the Junkyard Dogs, and the ball's going to be carried in. No, it is not. Hells is going to turn over the ball, give it to Aspence, and Aspence will finally be able to throw it right back out to his team. Very close to a turnover again. Right back to Junkyard Dogs to immediately giving it right back to My Chemical Aspence, who will abandon that push and now have the ball carry now as we are a minute and a half into this round.
Just foul from Kevin. The way he's able to stay alive, and they rush that push, they know it, but they're just swinging at this point. They're letting it hang out the table, and Chemical is just putting it out there. He said, I got the triple, I got the extern, I got the kill tag, I'm going to just send it and see where it sticks. But unfortunately not able to convert on that play, but able to get the ball retention. Aspence kind of scooped it up and dipped it out. I thought we were going to see a 1v1 on the runner from Aspence, but able to kind of go on the reset as they fly through. Oh, almost a really nerfed pass. Gingy not able to reach that just in time, gets the sword out, but gets punched. Encott getting folded in mid, and we got a full My Chemical Aspence charge right now.
Absolutely, and I was going to say, for the longest time there, I was constantly seeing that Junkyard Dogs were getting into kind of a sequence there where they constantly had 1 dead on My Chemical Aspence. It was constantly a 3v3 or a 4v3, and if you can keep My Chemical Aspence, keep one of their main tanks off the field like this, where you got this crazy rejecting push here, you can actually
that's exactly what you don't want. I think they got 1 spawning, and that's going to be
2
all
spawning there.
Oh, no. got 2 spotting, so we're good on that.
Oh, good interception!
Nice pick for Demon. Read that like a book, and he's ready for the... I like to see the signs of the life out of Junkyard Dogs. We're starting to see them play hyper-aggressive. I think they're getting tired of getting waffle stomped, and they're like, hey, we're here to play too. And
Absolutely.
they just show up.
Absolutely.
So, big plays out of Endcott too, taking a lot of space, getting a lot of really nice kills on that. Endcott with the ball right now, so he's kind of taking that tanking pressure off, but Demon with a nasty pick to solidify that turnover was great to watch.
Absolutely, and Jolly getting that betrayal on Aspence actually kind of neutered the defensive push here from My Chemical Aspence, immediately going onto the ball carrier as he throws it over to Recharge. Recharge looking for some space here as 2 of his tanks are respawning. 1 tank still on the respawn here for Gingy. Gingy coming right off spawn, does get the trade there from Aspence. Very, very well played there from the respawning main tank there from Gingy, as they're again keeping the pressure at the plate. Recharge in a very precarious scenario, finally manages to get away from the plate, is not going to end up turning it over right on top of the plate, which would be a very quick score there for My Chemical Aspence, as they now look for this move on the right side. But to your point earlier, they continue to flow kind of back and forth, and being able to rotate back and forth and find space where it is a good trait. But if you constantly are non-committal to which side of the field you're playing on the ball, you're just never going to get a real push, as Aspence gets the overkill here on the right side, getting some kills here on the left side. Kill tag from Aspence. Jolly will get the ball. Ball is going to be right in Jolly's hands. Jolly is just walking it right in. There are no enemy tanks in front of him. And then it's going to bring us to a quick 4-1 scoreline here. As I say quick, but that was relatively long in this series so far in terms of game time.
What do you do when you get farmed and spawned by this team? It's just so hard. And we just saw a 45-second loop of Junkyard Dogs just spawn die, spawn die, spawn
Absolutely.
die. It's so hard to collect your thoughts in that situation.
Oh.
All you can think about at the moment is just stay alive. A nasty turnover, but Recharge is able to pick it up and take it back with Jolly playing super aggressive right now, which we like to see. Usually he's passive, but he's doing a great job of maintaining space, kind of starting to wrap towards that left side, but staying alive, playing with his tanks. Ken with a hard push forward. Jolly going forward to get that kill, so keeping on the ball runner, keeping them in this net that they've secured on the corner, as we're about to see another full court press on the side of My Chemical Aspence.
Absolutely, and just a quick thing with the stats here, everyone on My Chemical Aspence positive or more. Everyone's on the positive side of the field right now in terms of KD. Meanwhile, you've got basically everyone except for Demon on the Junkyard Dogs at a negative scoreline, and so you're definitely seeing where this 4-1 score is coming from, where one team's tanks are getting those kills and not getting traded out, whereas Junkyard Dogs are either trading or getting just farmed, like we've been seeing in a couple rounds here. As Recharge is looking for the throw, does manage to get it out to his usual ball carrier, Gingy.
With a brutal double in the spawn. That was absolutely wicked to watch. And he's still just farming the spawn.
Absolutely, still farming the spawn here, as they just can't get many tanks alive. Overkill here for Aspence, as Aspence is still farming in spawn. Throw out to Recharge here, as Aspence is looking to get him at the health pack. Ends up on that shelf, rolling all the way to the other side of the field. Recharge just wanted to hold the ball, but the game was just not having it as it rolled all the way to the far side of the field. Hells is looking for a play here, trying to one-man army it in as his tanks are behind him. Gets the punch on Recharge. The split decision-making from the Junkyard Dogs is going to end up being their undoing. But Jolly, it banks off of the plate there. Recharge picks up the ball, trades out Jolly Jihadis, and you end up with a fantastic push here from Junkyard Dogs, as they're looking for some revitalization in their tanking line to try and bring them to a closer score line of 4-2.
And Jolly really fully commits to that. He stopped swinging the hammer and everything because he knew that ball was coming straight to him. He knows his role. He knows what he's doing. Maybe would want to see, another kill out of him.
Oh, fantastic double here by the Junkyard Dogs. Full press, and the dance around the plate ends up at a 4-2 scoreline here, as Junkyard Dogs, as you're trying to talk about the My Chemical Aspence line, their line falls apart as they get a double kill right in front of the plate.
Yeah, big shift from Junkyard Dogs, able to take advantage of that momentum, which we see them do frequently. You just want to see them do it more. Like, yes, it's hard to do on a team against this, where they're so aware and they're so wide awake, but, you got to take every chance that comes, you got to send it.
Absolutely. And that double sword there was working for Junkyard Dogs, almost getting that ball away from Hell's Angel, away from My Chemical Aspence, but unfortunately another tank there was ready to clean up and get the ball right back to the main tank line, the main ball carrier here in Hell's Angel. Jolly looking for that flank play out to the right. Recharge putting tons of pressure here on the left side, making it very difficult for the ball carrier to push out, but Chemical does manage to get the kill, gets traded out by Demon. Demon getting the double kill, killing the two best, what I would argue is two of the best tanks on their team. Ball gets thrown out to Aspence at mid-court. Gingy is looking to pressure the ball carrier. Ball carrier is all on his lonesome. Here, Jolly is way ahead at the plate, and Gingy and Recharge are going to try and hold him at the plate. Demon collapsing there, getting his third kill of the life. Hell's getting traded, and it ends up with a full throwback to Jolly here at the far side of the field. As again, My Chemical Aspence seem to just be kind of playing with their food. But as I'm saying that, it's actually getting very difficult. Fantastic kill there by Gingy and Recharge on the push. Demon getting on the respawn. That's a double kill at the plate, and that is going to be a score to 3-4 as Junkyard Dogs are coming alive on game point.
Defense really, it wasn't so impressive offense, but their defense was hyper impressive there as they're able to form that net, get around the team, and absolutely demolish them on the side of their own court.
Absolutely. You just saw that as multiple times My Chemical Aspence were like, okay, we'll throw it out to the right side, okay, we'll throw it out to the left side, and eventually their tanks just weren't respawning fast enough. Demon was farming them on spawns. Recharge and Gingy were putting way too much pressure on the ball carrier, and eventually that 2v1 is going to turn in Junkyard Dog's favor. And just like we saw before, we're seeing the same thing here as multiple tanks are taking care of the ball carrier, forcing the ball carrier back. He's got nowhere to go, but luckily Aspence there in to get the double kill, and it looks like the push is going to be here on the left side as Gingy is holding back Jolly Jihadist, now having killed him without the trade. Going to collapse in on this push as Chemical and ball carrier Angel are trying to stay alive. Sword from Encott unfortunately will not be backed up by another teammate, and so will not turn into a turnover. Instead, Demon will spin around, kill his own teammate, and we are right back at mid-court.
Yeah, unfortunately I got booted. That's my normal curse where mid-game, mid-push, I get booted straight out of the game. So unfortunately I cannot see what's going on right now, but it sounds exciting.
Absolutely. There was a toss far across the court to Chemical, and unfortunately did not pan out for My Chemical Aspence. Ball is right back in Gingy's hands on their own side of the court. I'm going to try and get you back in here, Rain, if I can. Let me see if I can.
I will just stream your POV. I'll just spectate.
Okay, let me see here if I can do that. Actually, let me try this. Just 1 second here. All right, I put an invite there in the chat for our voice chat, so that maybe you can be able to join right back on me. But now Gingy's getting this push in. But Junkyard Dogs, I was tuned out for a moment. I was unfamiliar with your game, and it looks like Chemical will get the turnover at the play with the sword, and My Chemical Aspence will stop the 4-4 score. The complete, utter fall apart from the ball carrier. Usually very reliable Gingy. Unfortunately, will be a turnover at the plate. Heartbreak for Junkyard Dogs as now it is 2 minutes in, 4-3 scoreline. The ball is in Hell's Angels' hands here as he is pressuring out to the left side, and Junkyard Dogs have to keep their head on top of their head on top of their body. Otherwise, they are going to get caught reeling from a horrible turnover at the plate. Triple kill for
their
Chemical.
Hand on top of their head on their hand, whatever it is. Either way, sounds like a brutal bloodbath, and you hate to see those last-minute turnovers, especially when it can shift the momentum like that. But that is just brutal. But if there's one thing that My Chemical Aspence is really good at doing, it's plate stops, it's the finesse plays, it's all of these different things that lead into that nasty takeaway stop. But unfortunate for the side of Junkyard Dogs, they're trying to build that momentum.
Absolutely. I've gotten my POV stream up for you if you need it. I'm noticing it's taking you a minute to join back in, but right now we've got My Chemical Aspence pushing on the right side as Hell's Angel has the ball. Aspence and Chemical, the star double tanking line in front of him, and it looks like Jolly is finding an opening on the left side, looking for Recharge here. He does get traded by Recharge. Ball's going to get limply thrown to the plate as Aspence is on top of it, covering it so that Demon pushing in from the right side here is not going to be able to take it. Demon is past the tanking line, but Hells does manage to secure it, keeping his eye on his radar, making sure that he doesn't turn the ball over very, very riskily right at the plate as Chemical will take out Encott. Chemical and ball carrier Hells are looking for this right side as Hells is head-to-head with Demon, ends up getting the kill. Gingy will betray Recharge. The toss will get tossed to Jolly, but unfortunately it was a limp pass. Ends up in Recharge's hands. Jolly is out of position as Gingy is heavily pressing to Hell's Angel, and the ball will get to the plate. A fantastic counter push by Junkyard Dogs. We are at a full 4-4 scoreline. Next point wins. coming into game 9 here, round 9 here of game 1, as the Junkyard Dogs and Hell's pushing into the mid area, as Jolly will get the ball right off of kickoff. A rare kickoff victory by My Chemical Aspence. Jolly being the rare ball carrier here in this match, at least, looking to try and pressure onto Recharge. Chemical with an extremely Hail Mary play to the plate does not pan out. Another Hail Mary play, but it doesn't matter. Hells is there, and it is over as soon as it started. 25 seconds into the 9th round of the game, and it is a 5-4 full score long game here by My Chemical Aspence. It is going to be My Chemical Aspence taking the first game off of Junkyard Dogs. Alrighty, and it looks like we're having some potential technical issues here with the second caster here, so we're going to take a short break as we figure that out. We will be right back with game 2. Alrighty, and we are back here after game 1. Went very closely to My Chemical Aspence way here, as it was a very close. That 8th game went JunkyardDogs' way with a fantastic counterplay, and then it was an immediate 1-2 punch by My Chemical Aspence as their tanks just out-tanked the JunkyardDogs in 25 seconds flat, bringing us to a 5-4 scoreline. So we are about to launch right back into game 2 here, as the JunkyardDogs and My Chemical Aspence have had a little bit extra time here to regroup after that first game.
Yeah, I mean, you love to see the rally from JunkyardDogs, and maybe this breaks their curse where usually they start off hot, you know, they lead game 1 and then they get folded game 2 and 3. Maybe this is the reverse of that, and we start to see them really pull it together. I like the consistency out of their play. I liked seeing them only have, you know, 2 runners, but mostly it was NCOT on the ball running, and a lot more tanking prowess coming out of that team. I mean, Demon is playing out of his mind, Gingy doing his best to get the kills that matter, Recharging also diving in there for the kills that matter, and a lot of opportunity really taken advantage of when they get those quick turnovers to just absolutely punch the ball in. So I think that they gave, you know, My Chemical Aspence a little bit of an unexpected run for their money, but we'll see if that can hold up for game 2.
Absolutely. Full game time was 23:39 there, based on the Halo output here, and it looks like, looking at the stats, as was the kind of the running thing for most of the game, JunkyardDogs, with everyone except for Demon, with pretty significant negative KD, as it was a negative 31 for Recharge, negative 12 it looks for NCOT, which is not as bad, but then a negative 20 for Gingy. A rare significant negative from Gingy, but that might have to do with him playing a little bit more of a front tanking role rather than ball carrying. And Demon holding up that KD, holding that average KD for the entire team up with a plus 28 KD. Meanwhile, on the far side for My Chemical Aspence, Chemical and Aspence were holding a combined plus 23, it looks like, and Hells and Jolly ending up with negative score lines there, as Hells just had a negative 6 and Jolly with a negative 14. Gonna be interested to see if these stat lines kind of hold the same way going into game 2, or if we see some retooling, some strategizing coming out of either of the lineups to change how these two lineups interact with each other, as we are launching into that game 2. JunkyardDogs looking to bring us to a game 3, force that full series length, and try to challenge My Chemical Aspence, and potentially be the first team to take not just a game, but a series off of our top team. Here we go into game 2.
Oh boy. Quick tip-offs all around. But yeah, no, I think if there's one team that genuinely does not care about going negative, it would definitely be on the side of My JunkyardDogs.
My JunkyardDogs.
Just because I think at this point they're more concerned about the win, obviously, as they should be. They don't really care who goes negative or positive.
Absolutely.
Obviously, great that Demon can drop the positive. It's more so, can we get the win? That's the only thing that matters at the end of the day, whether they're sitting, you know, in playoff contention or at home on the couch watching.
Absolutely. Demon, a pass player here. And it's going to be a long pass throw to Demon. Demon's going to have to get that double if he wants it, but he's not going to end up getting it. But NCOT is there, so close to the double, forcing multiple betrayals out of My Chemical Aspence. NCOT's team, the JunkyardDogs, almost had a very quick score there on a Hail Mary toss-out. Unfortunately, will not pan out for them, as My Chemical Aspence will settle in with Jolly Jihadist as their ball carrier for the interim.
I mean, really unfortunate. Gingy had the vision, saw it there, just led the pass just a little bit too much, and threw it way closer to the spawning side that he'd like to. And just unfortunate timing for that. I think if he throws that just a hair behind.
Whoa, what was that throw?
Scoop that up. Yeah, I don't know what that was.
I don't know if that was a deflection.
Quick work of that pickup.
Yeah, don't know if that was a deflection or not, but Recharge will take whatever he can get. Ends up with a very weird interception deep in enemy territory, ends up retreating it all the way back to his side, as Demon is, not Demon, that's Gingy. Gingy with the triple kill. Gingy showing that tanking prowess that we were hoping to see in game 1. We are seeing more of it in game 2 here, as NCOT and Demon fill into that middle space here to try and push the JunkyardDogs lineup across mid-court and put some serious pressure onto My Chemical Aspence, and potentially be the first to put a points on the board in game 2 here, as Gingy will trade out. Demon will get a kill here on Hells and Jolly. Demon just will not die.
Yeah, Demon's impeccable for staying alive. I mean, he showed us that last series. This series he's doing the same thing. But something to highlight here is I really like to see the Demon and Encot taking together, it looks like Encot's finally starting to read Demon's flow and able to come in and kind of refrag off that, stay alive, keep it alive even when they use the tank, able to keep the push alive. As we see a wicked turnover, able to still maintain it as the shields don't come up in time, and Gingy's able to snipe that off the wall. But now we're seeing a Gingy running, so we're back to the all for one, keep momentum, whoever gets the ball, and we just gotta kind of roll out from there.
Absolutely, and Encot looks like he's on the far side here. Gonna put the camera on him for a moment as the ball is getting some pressure here on the far side of the field. Encot, unfortunately, will not be able to play out that flank out on the left side. Gingy was able to survive with his tank line. Recharge looking for a flank here against Aspence, but unfortunately, Aspence's tanking is just a little too spicy for him. Looks for the punch on, and a horrible miss there. Hell's Angel, unfortunately, just getting a straight-up sword for the side of JunkyardDogs. That is unfortunate. Gingy betraying Encot, looking for that quick hit on the Hell's Angel. Ball's going to be in Aspence's hands here temporarily as he drops the ball at the plate. Demon is right there in front of the ball carrier. Jolly Jihadist does hold on to the ball, and Demon will get traded back by Hell's Angel, clearing up that tanking line in the front side. But that could have been horrific mistakes there by My Chemical Aspence right in front of the plate. Ends up being a trade by Hells.
It's kind of we're starting to see that frazzle. I really hope we don't see it on the side of JunkyardDogs, where it's like that panic that you don't want to see out of any team, but specifically this team. But unfortunately, with them setting Recharge on the flank, Recharge is not the flank guy for this team.
Yeah.
And Hells is playing the flank right now as we speak. So we'll see if Demon can do his best to anchor this alive, get Hells out of spawn. They're going to send a Recharge that way. Recharge able to pick up the kill as he pushes back to help support his team, try to push his team back to mid. Recharge with another nasty kill, able to hold off this defense.
Does get the sword.
Recharging.
Man said, guys, forget it, I got you. And just decided to be the man, the myth, the legend. Double punch, looking for potentially a triple punch it in. He'll dash it in, and unfortunately does not have the timing correct. And the ball gets turned over right at the plate there as Gingy's looking for it. That's one kill onto Aspence, 2 kills, and got the ball. Fantastic play from the JunkyardDogs as their whole lineup is finally clutching up and playing at the top of their level.
Absolutely. I mean, we love to see the shining stars kind of emerge, and I think that Recharge just kind of hears me and is like, okay, you think I can't flank? Watch this. As he punches 1, 2, looking for a third, looking for that sneak and goal, not able to get it, but like damn close to getting that. If he's able to just take 2 more steps forward.
Oh, looks like we might have had our
able to hold. He's doing his best. Oh, we're starting to see a little stutter step.
I was gonna say there.
Are you seeing the same lagging going on?
So I was gonna say I heard it in your mic, but I did not have any visual lag there. You did lag out for a couple seconds on the cast itself. I was gonna say the funny thing with Recharge is if you were saying that he wasn't doing well on the flank, he proved you right that he was not. Oh, what a good rejection by My Chemical Aspence. Fantastic tanking by Hell's Angel and Chemical. I can't even spend the time giving any kudos to JunkyardDogs because they're just immediately dying and giving it off to My Chemical Aspence. That's going to be a kill as the ball gets thrown right back out. But as I was saying, Recharge was proving you right that he's not meant for the flank as he gets that triple kill in the ball turnover on the far side at that previous play. Hell's Angel looking for a play here. Lots of jumping by JunkyardDog. Really botched throw there from the Hell's Angel, but honestly, the weird throw worked out for him.
Right there. I'm surprised we didn't see a demon pick right there.
Absolutely, but I will say the weird throw ends up kind of throwing JunkyardDogs off their game there. Ends up making it really hard to predict where that throw was going. Double swords here on the ball carrying, but Demon will switch away from the sword, and unfortunately because of the respawning tanking line from My Chemical Aspence, that pushback by the defense is not going to work out. Chemical is just holding space, holding W and taking names, looking for the left side here against Encot and Recharge. Recharge trying to hold that space, trying to prove that he is meant for this front defensive line, trying to push back Hells. Unfortunately, the toss to Chemical is a botched throw, but it does not matter. That score is going to be on the board as My Chemical Aspence will take the first point of Game 2, looking to bring us to a quick 2-0 sweep if they can keep pace in this second game as we head into round 2 kickoff.
Yeah, I mean, you'd like to say you got to keep Chemical out of spawn, but really, anybody on this team, you got to keep him out of your spawn.
Yeah.
But letting him take up that much space, letting him anchor, rotate the entire push to the left wall, still stay alive, go back to the right side, and still leave him alive is too much time and too much space for him to work with, and he's too good of a player to let that go unresolved. So while it was a botched throw, he had so much space on the right and had so much spawn control. Fortunately, after the spawns that we've seen, that he's able to make that play as he hits it again, hitting the route, Recharge and looking to play the interception game, but not able to do that. Instead, they just go for the straight up kill. Demon doing his best to stay alive here as Spence kind of works him in the middle. Encott thrusting backwards, Recharge getting picked off in mid. Another big kill, but a trade coming the way of Gingy, able to secure that as they're able to clean up these last tanks and push them back on their side of the ball for My Chemical Aspence.
Absolutely, and actually Aspence falling apart here in the center. Ball is right near the plate right now as Recharge was looking for something with the sword. Potential here from Demon. Demon trying to play it, but it's going to end up being the ball gets played all the way to Health Pack so that JunkyardDogs will get the ball back as My Chemical Aspence just decided it was time to give the ball over, to give some breathing room, make it so that they can get that tanking line reset as Demon is looking for that flank play. Unfortunately, will not play out correctly, and Encott also getting traded out. Ball is going deep into JunkyardDogs territory on the back of Recharge in here as Demon again looking for that left side push. Doesn't pan out. Encott looking for this right side push with Gingy right next to him. These two tanks trying to find some space here. Recharge left all on his lonesome, but does manage to get the punch on Hell's Angel, which is a very straightforward sword. Demon looking for some play here in the mid side on the left. Gingy looking for some play here in the mid as well. Gingy does get the kill. Demon is just kind of left on his own here. Recharge also kind of left on his own, looking for a potential play. Does end up tossing it right back out to avoid the turnover. Smart play there from the ball carrier as Gingy will now assume ball carrying duties. As you said though, we are seeing this, whoever gets the ball has the ball, and they're kind of just playing this omni-tank, omni-ball carrying style as Gingy is looking for a play, ends up throwing the ball right far back to his team tank. And it's going to end up being just kind of like this jostling back and forth, Encott not able to stay alive on the far side. Gingy also falling. That's 2 dead for the JunkyardDogs. That's 3 dead for JunkyardDogs as they're having respawners. Hells is in the spawn. It's an overkill for Jolly Jihadist. The throw goes over to a dead player as Encott is trying to stay alive with the ball carrying. Jolly and Chemical have cornered them into this very far corner of their spawn, tossing it back out to the right side as Recharge is spawning on the right side. Looks for the ball. Aspence does not put full court pressure onto that corner. And the sword from Hells is unmatched in this series, and it's going to be a full court press to the plate. Demon looks for the sword. Aspence is standing on the plate, waiting for Hells. Aspence doesn't even care, spins around, gets the overkill, and it's a 2-0 scoreline. My God, this team is oppressive.
Your chauffeur is here, is ringing throughout the minds of Aspence as he just nonchalantly creates not only a path forward, but a guaranteed score as he anchors down the left side of the spawn, turns around with a quick flick and just deletes that left side as Hells is able to walk in, but a nasty sword from Hells sneaking through. I really thought the JunkyardDogs were going to be able to pull that out and playing hot potato, but starting to get some of the kills.
Oh my God.
The sword can't sneak through. Oh my God, the overwhelming power here is just showing itself. Jolly not able to get that kill, but Aspence flying in, Aspence getting picked off.
That play was I watched as 3 JunkyardDogs all thought to themselves, my other 2 tanks have it, and no one looked at him. And so he just straight up Goomba stomped the ball carrier who had nothing he could do because he assumed someone would tank for him. Unfortunately, very unfortunate error by the JunkyardDogs, making them look foolish on this court right now, as we are looking at a potential 3-0 right now on the game scoreline, the round scoreline, I should say, as My Chemical Aspence putting a hard pressure here on the right side. That's a backboard pass out to Chemical. Doesn't end up really making it to the plate in the right speed. Ball gets tossed all the way back to Aspence, but it's actually kind of right in front of JunkyardDogs as they do look for it. Encott will get the ball. Kind of some fast and loose play here for My Chemical Aspence, who no doubt are feeling themselves on this court. Gingy finding some space here in mid as Encott, if he could just push up to the ball, to his front tanking line a little bit, get a little bit more pressure on the front side here as Demon gets the pressure on the right side. Gingy does not get traded, ends up forcing Chemical to spin around. Demon is trying to find the space. Unfortunately, in a 1v3 scenario against the best team in the entire league, you typically don't like those odds, and so the ball will get pushed all the way back as Chemical will trade his own teammate to kill Demon. Recharge trying to find some space here on the right side. There is no tanking line here with Encott. Encott throws it out to Gingy. Somehow Encott isn't dead. Rotates all the way over to Gingy. Gingy throws it all the way back over. Chemical is just running roughshod on this JunkyardDogs lineup. Chemical will get killed. Throws it out to Aspence. Aspence is still alive. What is going on?
Not the double betrayal as, oh my god. We almost saw what would have been a farm turned into a nasty pick six. If Chemical was just a half step higher, that was not only a, hey, I'm going to get a kill tag, but I'm also going to grab this ball midair and dunk it straight on plate, but just missed it as that hammer swing went down, pushing it just slightly out of his
Fantastic push here from JunkyardDogs. It is unopposed. My god, what happened? Did they leave? Did Chem and Aspence get left behind? I didn't even see where they were.
They were busy farming the spawn. The right side ball got kicked out.
And
I don't know who that was running it, but made an excellent play to just full send it, not worry about the tanks, and just gun it straight.
Absolutely. NCOT is a pass man here on the kickoff. Hells is just way too aggressive. Oh my god, mistakes upon mistakes, but Demon has the ball, is gonna push it in, and Hell's Angel will not be able to body block him. We are at a 2-2 scoreline. It has been 30 seconds.
Yeah, they're not going out without a fight. This is the scrappy dogs that we like to see.
Absolutely.
My JunkyardDogs, baby.
Absolutely, and an instant shield there for Gingy. Fantastic pickup on the kickoff, and just getting an insta shield. We'll end up holding onto the ball on that kickoff. NCOT trying to find space here. He just can't kill anyone. Aspence with the overkill. Demon trying to pick up Aspence. Will trade out to Aspence. Will get the kill on Jolly. Will he get the kill on Hell's Angel? He has an unofficial overkill by team killing his own tank. And NCOT will be pushing in the mid side here as Demon is pushing on the right. Recharge will just jump to his death. NCOT trying to get the kill, does get killed by Jolly Jihadist. Demon going on it, what I believe was actually an overkill that time around, and the JunkyardDogs are finding some purchase against the My Chemical Aspence lineup, who's actually playing a little bit risky here as a horrible turnover at the plate. But it won't end up being a score. Fantastic tanking from Demon again, who has shown he will get the kill. But if he does, he will kill his teammate.
I mean, that's one of the things that we can't see more of, though. If you break down that last play, Gingy not only rotates the ball away from his tanks, rotates between two swords, and then tries to take an active 1v1 with one of the best hammer stops in the league. We can't be doing that, especially not that close to plate. That was almost a guaranteed turnover for them, but recharging, cleaning it up. If Gingy plays a little bit more aggressive, I think that's a goal there, but not able to follow suit with recharging, and that's one of the all gas, no brakes moment. You got to send that, especially with recharging, clearing up that upcourt pressure. One tank through, Hell's getting cleaned up. Gingy on the right side fighting with, I believe that to be Chemical getting traded out, but ball is just sticking left side. Tanks are kind of scattered all over the place. Gingy able to pick up another kill.
Double overkill for Gingy.
Demon able to clean that up. We got huge pressure here. Can they convert? Gingy staying alive, recharging, getting traded out, but a quick and swift end of that push as we see them rotate back to spawn. But man, starting to see some signs of life for sure as in this 2-2 game with a new momentum shift.
Absolutely, and every one of these pushes for JunkyardDogs, I basically characterize it as a 1-2-3. You get the first couple kills for that one step. You get the next kill for the double step to put them on a 3 dead, and on that third step, you just need one of the tanks to win. And unfortunately, a lot of times the tanking prowess from My Chemical Aspence just says no, and you see plays like that where Chemical on me saying the word no gets the double kill,
slams,
just says actually no. But as I say that, Gingy with an overkill, unofficial kill troc by team killing, and ends up being a push here in the mid area. But
need more love.
They really do.
Overkills definitely need more love.
Absolutely. My Chemical Aspence just putting way too much pressure here. The ball gets thrown all the way down court onto the far left side for recharge to pick up as NCOT gets killed at the plate. Gingy's got to find some kills here, find some space. Unfortunately, Demon and Gingy looked at the same target, and so unfortunately we'll lose one of the tanking line, but NCOT is pushing up the mid side. Gingy gets the kill on the left side. Double commit there onto NCOT, ends up getting the kills, but multiple kills by Gingy. Gingy's heating up, that's an overkill. Does he get the one more? It opens up and the recharge. The foot is on the plot. Kidding me? My Chemical Aspence have plot armor upon plot armor.
You love to see the extra dip potato chip because you know the pressure was there, you know the screaming was there, but Aspence said absolutely not are you going to pull that on my plate and get away with it, and I'm going to show you some love tabs afterwards to let you know that I'm still here and in charge.
Oh my god, and the taunt to Chemical to put insult to injury, but it does not work. Demon is a demon on this lineup. almost a turnover there. Recharge somehow keeps his hand on the ball. Ball stays in JunkyardDogs' hands as NCOT will now be the ball carrier. Looking for Recharge and Demon to push something out. Recharge has found some space, but unfortunately the two-man commit will not pan out. Demon will get the trade on Aspence on the left side. Gingy is in Narnia on the right side as he's looking for any tanking assistance from the JunkyardDogs lineup. Oh my God!
That was a deep wardrobe shot away from the rest of the play, but able to Demon again with a huge pressure here, knowing when to swing, knowing when to recommit, not able to stay alive. Gingy just 1 second away there from the support. Recharging and Gingy trying to keep the push alive at mid-court, but they're not getting it. Demon on the flank right now, and we might see him go all the way. A nice pickup as he refrags the sword on his own. The lunge not able to get there in time to beat the reload. We're seeing huge pressure. Recharge
oh my God, Demon and Recharge!
They're collapsing.
Single push to win! Fantastic play, holy. Fantastic play from the JunkyardDogs lineup. You could see the strategy where they just didn't die.
Yeah, the wheels are starting to click for this team for sure. They're heating up. They just need to stay hot. That's the problem right now, is how do we stay hot? And this is the first tip-off that they've lost in, I think, 2 rounds, as My Chemical Aspence able to get their point back. Recharge is doing a good job getting a kill. Gingy staying alive. Dimian staying alive. Getting that kill in mid is going to be huge for them right now. Almost a one-tap. You could tell Demon wanted that hammer stop, but just not able to turn fast enough. Gingy cleaning up the kills, pushing that ball out. Good trades on the side of NCOT, staying alive and getting the kills that matter. And My Chemical Aspence retreats for their tanks to be able to reload and re-go again.
Absolutely. And as we're seeing as this season is getting later and later, JunkyardDogs, no one dead. They are full pressure here on the ball carrier. Somehow Angel is alive long enough to get that throw out to the health pack, and unfortunately that is a full respawn for the NCOT lineup on JunkyardDogs, so they won't be able to contest it. Aspence is going to have the ball here, but as I was saying, now that My Chemical Aspence is on a full push, I can't get a word in edgewise as Aspence is looking for the plate. He's got it in his eyes. He wants to just go for it. That tanking line is falling apart, but it won't be completed by Hell's Angel as he pushes in. The captain of the My Chemical Aspence lineup brings us to a 3-3 score line. That lead by JunkyardDogs is short-lived as My Chemical Aspence will snap shut on that lineup and bring us to a 3-3 even score line moving into this seventh round of game 2. It's looking like we are going the full distance again in this game.
Yeah, you hate to see that passive play. Obviously, everybody's trying to stay alive the best that they can, but too much backpedaling on the side of JunkyardDogs, and they just get collapsed on, letting Hells take free space against what should have been a 1v2, turns into a 1v3, turns into a quick sweep on the side of My Chemical Aspence for that last goal. NCOT frantically throwing the ball out to himself, question mark, in the corner. Recharge is staying alive, not playing aggressive here, but Recharging gets busted on the side of Aspence, and huge pressure from the side of My Chemical Aspence. Recharging on the flank, able to space, looking for the pass out, able to get a kill, and they're able to breathe for just 1 second longer with a possible rejection on the way. Demon picking up a double kill.
Oh my God!
Trading out his carrier in the process, hanging onto the ball. NCOT able to survive there somehow, and they are just playing hot potato, and a dangerous hot potato at that, as they throw it almost to a free pick on the pad.
Oh my God, Gingy and Demon not on the same page there as Gingy boosted into his own tank's swing and ends up just killing himself and giving the betrayal to Demon. Demon is still alive there on the right side though, does look for the play, ends up forcing a betrayal on Chemical by Aspence. Unfortunately, Recharge does not manage to get the trade back against Aspence. Aspence showing that tanking prowess as the My Chemical Aspence lineup is just closing door after door. It is suffocating here for the JunkyardDogs. They cannot find any purchase in this game as they're looking for a play. Jolly just skates over the team. Ball looks to be thrown, but it doesn't end up actually going anywhere. Gingy and Recharge are here on the right side. NCOT trying to play against the ball carrier. Gingy with a very aggressive punch out here, unfortunately will not pan out. Demon will end up being able to receive it from his dead tank, and the ball's going to be dropped to NCOT very riskily here as Chemical was uncontested for a moment there. And again, they are back in the corner as Hell's Sword will kill NCOT. The ball will go back into Recharge's hand, and you can watch Recharge just sit there and be like, guys, can we breathe?
They are getting absolutely strangleholded. I mean, you look at the positional breakdown of My Chemical Aspence too. You have one on the plate, you have one on the right spawn, you have two on the left side kind of corralling the ball, and whatever side gets the ball, they just shift. the right side, if they throw it to the right side backs off, left side closes in. If they throw it to left side backs off, right side closes in. And like the net that they've been able to form has absolutely put this team in a stranglehold as they are fighting with every ounce of their being just to make it out of the corner. Forget the half-court talks. They just need to get out of the corner at this point, and they'll take anything to get there. Luckily, some frantic turnovers give it back to them as they're able to hold on to the ball, kind of make some space here, but My Chemical Aspence is not letting up for a second as they are convinced that they are going to corral them in this corner until they break or make a mistake, and we'll see what comes first.
Absolutely. And it's very interesting to look at the stat lines here, though, because I mean, there's a lot more depth on the NCOT lineup, which is not that surprising given how these last few rounds have gone in terms of getting how long they get stuck in their corner. And we're kind of seeing this where My Chemical Aspence will just go into this holding pattern of not waiting for a mistake, but basically kind of forcing the opponent to make a mistake and then getting a score off it. But when that doesn't happen, JunkyardDogs actually eventually break that lineup, force a push across the midfield, and get a very quick push onto the far side of the field as Recharge is unopposed, looking for that kill on Aspence on the far side. Unfortunately, Aspence will be able to close that up. My Chemical Aspence very happy to see that release valve work on the far right side as Recharge was looking for a potential quick pass play as he again finds the opening, looks for Hell's Angel, unfortunately will not pan out. Demon getting traded by Chemical. Gingy, last tank alive here against Hells and Jolly Jihadist, does get the kill on Hells. Recharge gets the kill on Jolly, and it looks like Aspence and Chemical are going to be the main two tanks here to try and keep them back, but the JunkyardDogs are just too rabid. They're getting kill after kill, push after push is rejected, but they don't care. They've got it. What seems to be an unending source of energy here in Demon, their main tank. Recharge and Gingy trying to stay alive here. Aspence dead by Demon again. Demon, I don't think, has died in like 10 kills, but he's still going for it. So it looks like Gingy and Recharge are going to try and get kills. They trade one, die to the other, and it is just back and forth with these two teams.
They're just having such a hard time of, yes, they get one down, but the positioning of My Chemical Aspence and the rapid flow of incoming off the spawn is just too much. Recharging with a huge break of space right now.
But they're all respawning.
He knows they got two respawning, so they're playing cautious. Ooh. I like that. Take the space while you can get it. Finally get out of the corner. An aggressive punch from that Demon, able to stay alive. Oh, if Demon gets one more kill there, maybe able to convert that, but they have to throw it back. But at least for at least 2 seconds, they were able to just get out of the corner and play the game of grip ball without feeling like the foot was constantly on the neck there.
Absolutely. And Recharge, though, I think they played a little bit. Oh, that's an unfortunate play. Miscommunication. That's the first time we've seen a true blunder in the form of the word there, where you have your ball carrier ready to tee the hell up, and unfortunately it doesn't pan out. Ball is very riskily thrown right in front of the plate. Recharge is the only one there for the JunkyardDogs lineup, and Cop wanted to get that kill on Chemical. Unfortunately, won't pan out. Full respawns here for the JunkyardDogs lineup as Hell's Angel will hold the ball.
It looks like Gingy is 100% AFK. Oh, now he's back.
All right, looks like we're going to be into a temporary stoppage into immediate play here. As you were saying, it looked like Gingy might have had some either desync or something, but the ball gets turned over on top of the plate. Fantastic hammer stop, Demon, but it isn't a Demon play if there isn't at least one betrayal to get all those kills. That is an overkill, unofficial kill drive. That's a kill tack. This man is going the heck off. The blood of his own team fuels him to continue pushing forward as Chemical will finally put him down.
Hey, if you can't get positive on your own on the opposite team, might as well turn the hammer on your own team and get that energy flowing all the same.
Absolutely.
But somehow able to sacrifice his
How is he
teammates
still alive?
To get a nasty. I swear he's immortal. He has to be.
He's actually a demon. Demon is a demon. Like it's just a fact.
This is nature play. This is
nature play. Oh my God.
That was a very, very risky jump by NCOT, which is almost swiftly repaid on the side of My Chemical Aspence with a nasty corner pin. But let's see if he tries to punch that. Gingy staying aggressive, still going for the punches, even though we've seen him miss 2 or 3.
Fantastic throw out.
Collapsing on him right there. Thank God he decides to throw that out. Recharging with the ball now. Demon trying to make space. NCOT coming up to fill the mid. One hammer gets through on the side of Jolly Jihadist. Chemical is trying to anchor and spawn as much as he can, but able to pick that off. That
high throw there.
Kind of collapses on the right side, but that ball is. They have a nasty tendency to really leave that on plate. I have a feeling we're going to see a last-minute score that ends with just one that you would love to take back if you can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're kind of seeing this kind of yin-yang back and forth, this kind of seesawing back and forth as you get a couple wins by JunkyardDogs, a couple losses. Now we're really in trouble. JunkyardDogs need to get out of this corner. Aspence is collapsing in. Ball's going to get thrown out. Half rejected, but still makes it to the corner. Demon trying to hold space to not let that ball turn over. Ends up getting the kill, but Aspence will get the ball. Ends up tossing it all the way back to Hell's Angel. And My Chemical Aspence, for the first time in what I believe is 4 minutes, will finally have the ball in their hands as they are looking to bring us to a 4-3 scoreline and try to put these dogs down in their place, in their eyes, as they're trying to get this push here on the right side. Chemical gets unfortunately traded out. Aspence does get the kill. Aspence is completely unopposed here as Gingy is on respawn. It is a 1v2 scenario there as NCOD and Aspence. NCOD is against Aspence with Gingy in support. Demon trying to play it out. Aspence gets forced to the corner. The push takes too long to support the main tanking line, and so it will get pushed back by the JunkyardDogs hovering here at midfield. Bad punch approach there by Hell's Angel as his main tanking line's trying to get in, but we're actually seeing the JunkyardDogs play very similar to the My Chemical Aspence lineup, where when one tank dies, the next one fills in, and you end up getting this kind of back and forth trading as the push can't really get anywhere for long.
If NCOD plays just I know he's so locked in on trying to maintain that space, but if NCOD has that spidey sense that the ball's coming, if he pulls off of that hammer and just goes for the ball there, I think we see a turnover on the side of JunkyardDogs, but he's just not able to. Too locked in on the kill, doesn't even get the kill, but gets traded out immediately as, that was a betrayal and a half. Maybe I think they're able to keep that push alive, but My Chemical Aspence playing more passive now that they're seeing a fully alive JunkyardDogs that are getting kills, that are presenting them.
3 dead,
that half,
4 dead.
Not able to stop them, but just as I say that, again, the caster's curse, and they're rolling right now.
Absolutely. And as we say that though, and the sword, fantastic double play by the JunkyardDogs lineup as Gingy was right on his coach's ass there, going right in with the sword to make sure that they get that turnover. And JunkyardDogs are right back in it, going right back in their corner, trying to find some space here on the left or right side of the field, anything that allows them to push past quarter court, let alone half court, as they're finally trying to find space. Aspence gets the overkill. Ball gets thrown to Demon as he respawns. Demon is just trying to hold space. He knows that he is not going to be the ball carrier. Forces a betrayal against Aspence by Jolly Jihadist. Chemical is trying to force the issue here as the NCOD lineup is pushing onto the right side. Gingy looking for some space here on the right side. It has Hells, Jolly, and Aspence all pushing against him. But Jolly is now a behind man. He's a fast man. Recharge gets the kill. You got 2 respawners here for the My Chemical Aspence lineup. Demon is at the plate. Demon gets the kill onto, I believe that was Jolly Jihadist. Looks for the kills here on the left side. The team needs to get there so Demon can play his game. He gets the kill on Aspence. He forces the kill onto Hells. The turnover onto Jolly, but Jolly ends up getting the trade onto Demon. Aspence is all the way in the corner. Where is that ball going? It gets rejected straight up in the air as the My Chemical Aspence lineup completely collapses onto the side. Double kill by the NCOD. NCOD looks for the play, forces the kill by Demon, and Hell's Angel gets turned. Where's the ball going? Oh my God!
Where did the air in your lungs go, brother? That went straight to the moon. That casting is impeccable. hate to give you a glow up on stream, but holy, brother, take a breath, get some water.
Turnover.
Another nasty turnover. Demon, just bodies flying everywhere. And Jolly saying, hold on, I'll take that. But Gingy with a real shot at this ball right now. Dancing with the sword. A double collapse by the sword. Able to come away with it.
Oh my
Aspence
God.
playing his life and really anchoring that. But again, JunkyardDogs are just refusing to let go of the ankle right now. Just fighting at every heel play that they get. Gingy staying alive. Another good kill from him. Able to trade away a double. Demon not able to stay alive. But God, they're playing Griffball right now, that's for sure. And I don't think My Chemical Aspence was rated for this much of a fight to come out of these dogs.
Recharge is a pass man though. There's 2 spawners there for My Chemical Aspence. Ball gets tossed out as Hell's just one-man pressures. So unfortunately, Recharge's flank there isn't going to pan out. Gingy now having the ball here, cans it right back off to NCOD, who I believe survived that play. And so it ends up being a push here in the corner. I say a push, but it's kind of a pressure. The ball bounces off of Gingy. No, that's going to be the turnover that cost them the point. And there's where your point was of the very costly, the very unfortunate tossing back and forth, and eventually it gets thrown into Gingy's spine as it is a 4-3 score here for My Chemical Aspence.
You hate to see it. It's always the cheesiest plays, and you'd hate to see this followed up by a quick roll, which I think it might be here, where they get frazzled, but A lot of tanky pressure coming out on the side. They still got somebody alive on the flank. The ball comes in, able to get rejected, stay alive right there. Demon playing his life, playing it well. Gingy able to refrag with the sword. Demon getting a double kill clear. Leads on recharging, almost with a swift kill, but not able to get that out, even though I'm pretty sure that was hammer to sword.
That it was.
Sword able to come away with that win.
Yeah, that was V-Charge had the sword and Hells had the hammer, so it was pretty easy there for Hells if he knows what he's doing. And as you said before, is this where we see the quick play? It might be. The ball gets turned over, betrayal by Chemical, but Chemical will secure that. It is teed up on a platter for him on the bench there, and it will be a 5-3. This is going to go only 2 games as My Chemical Aspence will remain undefeated in series score. Going 2-0 to My Chemical Aspence. JunkyardDogs now in very precarious territory when it comes to playoff implications, as they now their fate hangs in the balance, and based on other outcomes from other teams, they're going to be praying for teams like, let me just pull up the lineups here. They're going to be praying for teams like Passive Theory, The Last Drop, and Spanx Life Coaches to lose games. Otherwise, there is a chance that they are going to be eliminated from playoff contention. But a fantastic game from their lineup.
I love to see that fight out of the Dogs. You know, a lot of people thought that this was going to be a double, 5-1 quick score. But I think we're starting to see. I just hate that we're starting to see this version of the Dogs so late. I think that if they played like this all season, we'd start to see a very, very different shape for this team and a very different approach. I think that they played really well, just a lot of unfortunate turnovers and a lot of not taking up the space when you could. But for the side of My Chemical Aspence, I think we started to see some of the cracks there too. I mean, you start to see, yes, they're playing around at some points and experimenting with different flows, but unfortunately they're definitely starting to show that, hey, this team can get out tanked, this team can get outplayed, this team can be taken advantage of because they're all human just like any other team. So the cuts are starting to show blood, and I think that with playoff implications, that's going to draw a lot of teams to the line. But again, even with the blood being drawn, still a very dominant performance by them. A showcase masterpiece when it comes to defensive positioning, awareness, the ability to trap the spawns, even with the rotating spawns and the caster curse, which I believe we should have fixed before playoffs. But just a really strong performance for both teams here. Hate to see it go down like that, but if I'm the JunkyardDogs, I'm taking that with a grain of salt, saying that we played well, especially against the #1 team. Yeah. And if you play like that against other teams, I think we start to see a different record for that.
Can we talk about the fact that this team pushed them almost to 2 straight games of full game score, and the tanking stats are just, they couldn't be more different. You've got almost entirely negative apart from Demon on one side and almost entirely positive except for Jolly on the other. And it just goes to show that while there's some fantastic play from every single player on My Chemical Aspence, they do have weaknesses. They do get cocky. They do get a little bit too flippant sometimes, and if you keep your head on straight, if you keep them in front of you and not behind you, you can actually get these games and get these rounds off of them. But fantastic play from both teams. One thing I want to take note of is, rather than the KD, is taking a look at maximum killing spree and betrayals. Maximum killing spree, everyone on the My Chemical Aspence lineup had a better killing spree than basically everyone else on the JunkyardDogs lineup, which is not too surprising. Gingy with the only one tying up there at a 6 killing spree against Jolly and Aspence. But the betrayals tell a completely different story here, as actually the betrayals came more out of the My Chemical Aspence lineup. Now it's kind of close here, as I'm doing the math here. It's 18 on the JunkyardDogs lineup, and it's looking like, let me see, that 13, 17, 20 on the My Chemical Aspence lineup. So kind of a bit of a more like flippant and kind of careless series here from the 2 lineups.
I think that's just, you got to charge that one of the game, right? When you start to look at how much pressure they were putting in spawns and how they're overlapping, how their systems kind of work, there's gonna be turnovers, there's gonna be betrayals. But I mean, we saw back and forth series where it was just a bloodbath of turnover. Everybody just throwing bodies at the ball to try to get that off or out of their corner. And when that happens, obviously you're going to see some betrayals. We also saw some nasty hammer stops that came from, swinging through a teammate to get that kill. So realistically, sometimes the betrayals can be avoided, but Absolutely. I agree with you in saying that, both sides definitely had very, very sloppy plays. But right next to that stat, looking at average lifetime, every single person on the side of My Chemical
Yeah.
Aspence had almost a 15-second life. That's way beyond the normal. That's way beyond, what most people reach, because what we're used to seeing is 10 seconds, 11 seconds, and only a few people reach that 15, 16-second mark. But their normal, I believe, is actually more towards the 18. So Junkyard Dog's doing a good job of keeping this team down and keeping them in the respawn as much as they possibly could with the disadvantages that they had. But again, a very good showing from both teams here. A very good game, I feel like, for My Chemical Aspence, where they're able to get challenged a little bit and play on the back foot sometimes. So I think that was a good reality check for both of these teams as we move closer to the playoff title.
Absolutely. And I want to double check here. I think Mike and Spence, I believe they do still have one more series to play after this one, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to see.
I believe it's one of Rebs' teams, I think. I think they
Yes,
have
let's
yet
see
to play
here.
the Rebs main lineup of Rebs Mav.
Oh, they might have. That's true. Yeah, I'm trying to look through the schedule here, but I don't know if the schedule is actually updated. So we'll have to get back to everyone on that as to whether or not we will see My Chemical Spence one more time before playoffs, because obviously we are definitely seeing them in playoffs. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how the opponents level up against this team and potentially finally start taking games, let alone taking a series against the My Chemical Spence lineup, apart from the Spanx Life Coaches lineup headed up by Scullen. But for now, that is going to be it from tonight's cast. I'm Tez, and he's been Rain. Two of us have been here for what was a hell of a barn burner, even though it only went to 2 games. And we will be back here with the AGLA Spring Major next time on this stream. Thank you very much for watching.